Good Sunday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on WDBJ7. I'm Janay Reece. We're all seeing a different mix of things. We're all seeing rain here in Roanoke, Floyd seeing some ice, some folks seeing some hail, but what we're all going to see is material like this, salt, especially on those bridges where things are going to get pretty slick here this morning. I'm going to toss it back out here to help this parking lot here. Wow. We are one step closer to becoming published authors.
That's
right. We've made the book. These are images coming from Los Angeles as the entire state of California is dealing with some unusual winter weather. The look at race day activities. Good morning, Patsy. I see you got a guest there. Do you guys have on your racing shoes? Campaigning for the 2024 Republican nomination is underway, with former President Donald Trump participating remotely at an event in Iowa. The sun has come up a little bit, so you can see some of where that ponding water is accumulating, but you still want to take the time to plan ahead and take it slow out here this morning. This also just really paints a better picture as to how quickly the ground is getting cold, and this is a concern. The Roanoke Valley is full of hidden gems. I think we can all agree. And this includes a set of brothers who began instructing tennis at the Hidden Valley Country Club over the summer. Well, let's go ahead and show folks what they can expect. You have something special for us here this morning. So Daniel, I think we should get out the way.
We're going to step aside.
Fire and emergency crews also told me that this intersection is going to be shut down for a while. So if you're commuting and heading out to work, school, or wherever, you want to avoid this area.
And he's making a bid for 2024 as the Democratic Party waits for an announcement from President Biden about whether he'll seek re-election. So they're all lined up, getting ready. And I know we just spoke with Miss Betsy. Can I see that little dance again, Patsy? To wish him luck. Let's do it. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
And it's called the Brute. They brought it all the way over from the Netherlands. We're getting higher. I don't know if you can hear me.
Last half hour, of course, folks met you, and you showed me how to pitch. Now, I think we should work on catching because I need a little bit of work. I need your help. All right, so let's go ahead and get into position. And while we're getting into position, tell me about yourself. Tell me where you're from.
WDBJ7 Sunday morning.
Now on WDBJ7, 2 people are in the hospital this morning after a shooting in downtown Roanoke. Details on what we know so far. Plus, stormy weather caused the cancellation of the Blue Ridge Marathon. The runners who decided to continue despite the rain. Good Sunday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on WDBJ7. I'm Janay Reece. Sophia Borelli has the morning off. Let's go ahead and get straight to your hometown forecast because it is feeling pretty nice out there this morning. A little cooler for my taste, but I know some folks might enjoy it.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it. I don't mind it. I like the cooler conditions. We're going to have a pretty nice day here. I mean, it is a little cool.
Thank you, Christian. New this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after a shooting downtown early this morning. Police received the call about the shooting a little after 1 a.m. this morning. They say it happened on the 100 block of Campbell Avenue Southeast. No word yet on the condition of the 2 victims. Police say this is an ongoing investigation. In Carroll County, a man is facing multiple charges after a body was found in his car. Virginia State Police and the Carroll County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a man showing a gun on Highway Route 52 Friday afternoon. Officers had a brief standoff with this man, 37-year-old Kyle Snow, who is from North Carolina. After police arrested Snow, they found the body of a dead man inside of his car. Snow faces multiple charges, including second-degree murder and shooting from a vehicle. We have some updates this morning on fires that have happened across our region. The Salem Fire Marshal's office is investigating what caused a fire at a business on Apperson Drive Saturday afternoon. Salem Fire and EMS responded to reports of a structure fire at Virginia Industrial Cleaners and Equipment Store just off of Keegi Road just before 5 p.m. yesterday. Crews found heavy smoke in the showroom area and were able to contain the fire in the office area. There are no reports of injuries to any staff or firefighters. We don't know what the damage estimates are just yet. A brush fire is still impacting parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Due to the smoke and nearby fire, the Blue Ridge Parkway was closed from milepost 29 to milepost 45 on Friday and is expected to reopen on Tuesday, April 25th. Fire personnel are still on scene, continuing to fight the blaze. The cause of the wildfire is undetermined. Crews have also been fighting the fire in the Hidden Valley area in West Virginia for about 4 days now. Residents are concerned about the remaining smoke and flames. Cora Dickey sat down with the forester to learn about how the process is going to end the blaze. And that was Cora Dickey reporting. There are new changes to the Virginia Code after a child was abducted from a Giles County church back in 2021. Nancy Fritley was convicted of abducting the 2-year-old and is serving 15 years in prison. During the trial, prosecutors found a gap in the law. Abducting a child was a Class 5 felony. That's why Delegate Jason Ballard says he introduced HB 1892, which makes it a Class 2 felony. Ballard joined Governor Youngkin as he signed Noah's Law.
You could be punished more severely for stealing a car than you could for stealing a child. And so I wanted to fix that with my legislation, and that's what it did. We're trying to protect our streets, we're trying to protect our communities, and we will not tolerate those that try to do harm to children in our communities.
Ballard says this bill gave the Trout family peace of mind and closure. He says Noah is doing well and the family is looking to continue moving forward. The law takes effect in July. The Blue Ridge Marathon ended a bit early Saturday morning because of thunderstorms in the area, but this didn't stop runners from finishing the race. WDBJ7's Patsy Montesinos shows us what happened. Yeah, we are super proud of all of the runners who completed the race, and one of those runners who chose to finish the race despite the rain is Miss Betsy, also known as the Running Granny. Earlier this week, we introduced you to Betsy Davis, the oldest participant in any of the races. You can see it right there. She's doing the Betsy victory dance as she crossed the finish line. The 82-year-old was determined to finish the 10K and refused to come back in a shuttle. Here's the message she has for those who may want to start running themselves.
Exercise is important. I do exercise Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I lift weights and I play racquetball, and I suck at that, but I still do it. And just get out there and do things, and don't sit on the porch in a rocking chair.
You know what, Miss Betsy, that is some solid advice there. Congratulations to you to finishing the Blue Ridge Marathon despite all the weather conditions. You can stay up to date on all of these stories and other news by downloading the WDBJ7 News app. Turn on notifications to get breaking news and alerts from our newsroom. And pregnancy-related deaths have hit a new high, exceeding rates than any other country in the world. Women of color are among the most impacted, and I sat down with a mom who was sharing her story of how she refused to suffer in silence from postpartum depression. Join our minds is a mom who says exercising saved her life.
I had to lean into what I eventually learned to be my love language, which is somebody coming in, stepping in, giving me a second to step away and move.
But she says it hasn't always been that way.
In May of 2020, a week later, I found out that my mom had cancer for the 3rd time and that this time it was terminal. And I immediately jumped into not only the survival of being a new mother, but the survival of losing my mother and then just the layers of becoming a mother while losing not only your mother, but your best friend, your person.
Feelings of depression and anxiety grew after having her first child.
For me, getting out of the space that I was in, suffering with postpartum depression, I really had to lean into nobody can show up for you like you.
Despite how common these issues are, women of color are less likely to receive treatment.
Postpartum depression impacts about 1 in 6 pregnancies. Black women are 1.6 times more likely to develop the condition compared to white women, and Latina women are 2 times more likely to develop this.
I checked all of the boxes for severely not being okay.
Research shows pregnancy-related deaths are due to medical providers missing signs during maternal and postpartum screenings.
Because I was like trying to answer honestly, right? And hoping that, oh wow, maybe if I answer these questions honestly, somebody will actually see on paper what I'm going through and give me some resources or just something, right? To get out of the space that I'm in. And that never happened.
Women of color are 2 to 4 times more likely to die of these causes than white women.
We're now not only having to go through just what we have to experience from day to day with the Superwoman complex, but we're also having to endure not being able to necessarily feel safe holding space for ourselves to not be okay.
Some leaders are working to change this. Senators Tim Kaine and Lisa Murkowski reintroduced the Mothers and Newborn Success Act, a bipartisan legislation to promote maternal health and reduce racial inequalities in maternal and infant mortality.
We can do grants for innovative programs. We can learn from those programs and then hopefully spread those best practices to healthcare providers, to expecting moms all over the country.
Because if we don't do that, and if we don't emphasize that women, especially women of color and Black women, need to take care of themselves, the world is not going to thrive for it, and families are not going to be as healthy as they can be.
Fortunately, Joyner got the support she needed from her husband, close friends, and family.
Just as someone who falls in love with the feeling that I get through movement, I also have fallen in love with sharing that feeling with others.
She hopes other moms will find healing and exercise too, and get the support they need when they need it most. Because suffering in silence is not an option. In Roanoke, Janay Reece, WDBJ 7. Research shows more than 80% of pregnancy-related deaths in the U.S. are preventable. Officials say ways this can be prevented is by recognizing urgent maternal warning signs, providing timely treatment, and delivering respectful, quality care to all women. Black Maternal Week is every year, April 11th through the 17th, and May, coming up soon, is Mental Health Awareness Month. We have additional resources and stories about maternal health on our website. In this security cam footage, you see police conducting a search warrant at Sunshine Spa, one of 3 massage parlors suspected of soliciting sexual activity.
It's gut-wrenching. Sorry. Yeah. I've watched it go on for almost a year.
Janine Wilson owns and operates Primt 365, a permanent cosmetic company just a few doors down.
Every day I pull into work, and those women were there from 8 o'clock in the morning until between 10 and 11 o'clock every night. And I watched Johns go in and out that door all the time. And there's nothing I could do.
She did the one thing she could do, tell police what she had been seeing for months.
You'd see them in the car. They would never park in front of the business. They would park like over there in the alley. They'd park back here behind the place. The whole parking lot could be empty at night, and they would park way out there in the parking lot. They would never park in front of Sunshine Spa.
Police went undercover and found this spa and 2 other massage businesses offered sexual acts for money as a regular business practice. In a statement from the Christiansburg Police Department, they say, quote, "These businesses are often linked to sex trafficking, and their continued operation facilitates the victimization of many vulnerable members of society, including those who seek to immigrate to this country in search of a better life, but instead find themselves forced into a life of sexual servitude."
I mean, I cannot imagine these women being trapped in there from morning until late at night, every day, 7 days a week.
Wilson encourages anyone seeing anything suspicious to report it.
I hope that more people will speak up when they see something going on like this, or they suspect it, to, do a little of their own investigation, and then be able to go to the authorities with some facts and say, this is what's happening, and just lay it out for them.
In the New River Valley, Janay Reece, WDBJ 7.